Hey everyone, so what if I told you that you could completely transform your life in just 1 year? And I'm not talking about some vague motivational poster stuff. I mean a practical, step-by-step blueprint. We're about to walk through a framework that promises exactly that.
Look, the next 365 days are going to pass, no matter what, right? The real choice is what you do with them. They can either be this incredible period of growth where you actually build the future you want, or they can just be a repeat of last year. Same old habits, same results, same you.
So this really brings us to the big question, and it's for you. How are you going to use this time? Seriously, take a second and think about that, because your answer to that question could define your entire next year. All right, so where do we start? Well, maybe not where you think. This journey doesn't kick off with some massive, sudden action. Nope, it begins with a quiet, really honest look inward. You have to understand your starting point before you can even think about building something new. So this first step is all about introspection.
So what do we even mean when we say change your life? It's not just about picking up one new habit. According to our source material, it's a permanent upgrade to your potential. And you get there by systematically changing 4 key pillars of your life: your environment, your habits, your skills, and your very identity.
These are the 4 big areas we need to analyze. You can think of them like the 4 legs of a table, you know? If one of them is shaky, the whole thing is wobbly. And what's really crucial to get is that they're all connected. If you change your environment, it makes it a heck of a lot easier to build new habits. And those new habits help you get new skills, which in turn solidifies your new identity. See how it all works together?
First up, your environment. I mean, just look around you right now. The room you're in, the people you text all day, the stuff that pops up in your social media feed. Is your world designed to pull you up and push you forward? Or is it kind of engineered to keep you stuck right where you are? Comfortable, but stagnant. Okay, next up, habits. These are all the little things you do on autopilot every single day, right? But think about it. Are they building the person you want to be in 5 years? Or are they just serving the immediate comfort and cravings of the person you are right now? It's a tough question, but an important one. And number 3, let's talk skills. In a world that's getting more competitive by the minute, what are you actually getting better at? Are you actively developing skills that open new doors for you, that make you more valuable, more competent every single month?
And finally, all of this, your environment, your habits, your skills, it all rolls up into your identity, who you believe you are. So the real question is, are your daily actions actually in line with the person you truly want to become? Because here's the secret. You build the identity you want one single action at a time. Okay, so you've done the hard work of looking in the mirror. You know your starting point. Now for the fun part. We're shifting from thinking to doing. Let's dive into the practical framework for actually upgrading each one of those 4 pillars.
To get a handle on your environment, the game plan is pretty straightforward. First, you've got to consciously limit your time with people who keep you stuck. Second, organize your physical space, your room, your desk, to actually reflect a growth mindset. And third, start a dopamine detox from all those distracting apps and digital noise that pull you away from your goals.
Now for habits, this is brilliant. The framework borrows from Atomic Habits, which is all about this simple 4-step loop. If you want to build a good habit, you just make each step as easy and satisfying as possible. You want to read more? Okay, put a book right on your pillow. That's an obvious cue. To break a bad habit, you just do the exact opposite. It's a crazy effective system. And when it comes to learning a new skill, look, watching a bunch of tutorials is not going to cut it. That's just step 1, the experience. To really, truly master something, you have to reflect by practicing, you have to abstract by understanding the why behind what you're doing, and then you have to experiment by applying it in new and creative ways.
But how do you actually change who you are at your core, your identity? Well, the source gives us this awesome method called the impact framework. It's a structured, practical way to make that new person you've envisioned your actual reality.
Yeah, impact is just an easy way to remember the 5 steps. You start with I for defining your new identity, then M for modeling its behavior. P is for proof collection. You literally track your new actions. A is for anchoring it with visual cues, and finally C is for conditioning it every single day by consciously acting as that new person would. All right, we've got the concepts, we've got the tools, now let's put it all on a calendar. This is the 365-day blueprint that breaks down this massive goal into manageable, focused phases and makes this whole thing feel, well, actually doable. And here it is, the whole year laid out. What I love about this is that it's a 4-phase system. You're not trying to do everything all at once. You start by just breaking old patterns. Then you build a valuable skill.
Then you apply it and scale it, and finally, you lock in your transformation. It's so logical.
So phase 1 is your first 30 days. Think of it like a challenge or a boot camp. Your one and only goal? Break those old rusty patterns and pour the foundation for the new you. It's all about putting those new environmental and habit changes into practice. Consistency over perfection is the name of the game here. Okay, once that foundation is solid, you roll into phase 2 for the next 90 days. You keep those new routines going, but now you layer something new on top. Acquiring a skill you can actually get paid for. Something like coding, or digital marketing, or video editing. And you track your progress like a hawk to make sure you're really learning.
By the time you hit phase 3, those new routines aren't a chore anymore. They're just how you live. It's your new normal. So the focus shifts again. For the next 120 days, it's all about taking that skill you learned and putting it to work, applying it, and maybe even monetizing it. This is where your growth starts to pay off in the real world.
And in this last phase, the transformation is real. Honestly, you're a new person. You go into what the source calls monk mode, just pure, deep focus to lock in all your progress and start looking ahead to the next year of growth. You've become self-sufficient.
So there you have it, a full-on system from looking inward to taking action to planning out the entire year. The real magic here is that it takes this big, fuzzy idea of changing your life and turns it into a clear, logical, step-by-step process.
You know, the person who created this framework, Parveen Kumar, puts it really boldly. He says, and I quote, "If you follow this framework, I can bet you will change your entire life in just 365 days. That's a ton of confidence right there, but it's built on a solid process."
The blueprint is laid out. Every single step is right here in front of you. The only variable, the only thing missing, is you. So the only real question left is, what's your first move?